Hello and welcome to the Algo Trading Strategies channel again. In today's video we are going to explore a short strategy on Bitcoin, more particularly in the daily and the 4-hourly time frame, and using the RSI, so the Relative Strength Index technical indicator that we use today and the past days for long strategies this time. And yesterday, after completing a video about a new long strategy based on the RSI, I wanted to search for short strategies, especially one that fits my criteria. So strategies rules that yields more than 100 trades over the backtest, and also a Sharpe ratio over 1. And this I didn't find, I have to tell you. But yes, let's quickly focus on the rules that I've chosen for the short strategy today. So you can see a simple moving average in white here with a length of 50 on the daily time frame on Bitcoin USDT on Binance. And at the bottom you can see a relative strength index of length 14, as you can see. And the first idea I had was to enter a short. For the execution, I recommend that we use futures perpetual market, for example on a DEX or a centralized exchange, so a DEX like a Hyperliquid or DYDX. Also, I accounted for fees of 0.1% for the entry and exit for each short trade, but I did not account for the funding rate fees that would be incurred for such a short strategy. That's something to note, and I hope, but yes, hope is not a strategy, that the 0.1% entry and exit fee would be enough. And yes, in the future markets, in the future perpetuals, it's usually 0.01%, so the fee is much less than for spot. So yes, I hope that the 0.1% entry and exit would be enough to account for the commissions for the entry and exit fees in the perpetuals market, as well as the funding fees. But it has to be modeled further, and it has to be more accurate than that. So the strategies rules are the following ones. For example, here when we are below the simple moving average in white, so when the candlestick closes below, we want the RSI to go from above 50 to below 50. So for example, I think this is the case here. The RSI was 50 and 84, and the next day it was 45, so below 50. And this day we would have entered a short trade, so here 64,300 or so. So at the end of this red candlestick. And then what's the rule to exit the short trade? Essentially we are looking for lower RSI value, so something, for example, less than 40. So for this big red candlestick we would have exited the short trade with an RSI value of about 37, as you can see. So this is one exit rule, and if the RSI, the lower RSI value is not met, sometimes the price is ranging for a long time and the RSI value does not hit a lower target. So we have to close the short trade with another rule, and this rule is when the candlestick closes above the filtering simple moving average white line here. So yesterday I searched for quite a long time for such a strategy that would work in daily or in 4-hourly, and I couldn't find one, to be honest, but we are approaching something that's not too bad. Here you can see a heat map where the x-axis shows the entry RSI values, the y-axis shows the exit RSI value, all with an SMA of length 50 and an RSI length of 14. So the RSI length is fixed, but this is the RSI values in itself that are of interest to us on this heat map. And the color shows the Sharpe ratio, so the greener the better. And as you can see, there are very few results which are very good here with a Sharpe ratio above 0.4, or that can reach 0.6 and more, but we don't have Sharpe ratio that are above 1. Also, let's look at the returns themselves. Here are the returns. They are expressed not as a percent but as a multiplier. For example, for a starting capital of $1,000 with a multiplier of 1.6, you would end up having $1,600. So as you can see, all the values on the right are not very good because usually they are below 1, so we lose money on these parameters. But yeah, the only ones that are quite good are the ones with an entry RSI of about 50 and an exit RSI of about 40. But yes, the performance is not so great because it drops dramatically when the RSI value, the entry one, drops maybe between 45 and 50, as you can see. So from very green to less green here. So this area where, yes, there is very green cells, there are also less green cells. So the performance drops very sharply here. So not a very great performance for this strategy where we try to find entry and exit RSI values. Here's what an equity curve with such strategy would look like. Not very great because the number of trades is very low, as you can see, but at least, yes, the equity curve in blue that you can see in the middle chart is growing. So let's look at another strategy. So what I did is run my backtests on a 4-hourly with relative strength index entry and exits that are fixed this time. So the fixed values are 50, like I showed you, this is the middle line here, and the exit value is 40. So we exit the trade when the RSI value hits 40. So the shallow line here below the middle line. And if we couldn't exit the trade, again, we exit the trade when the candlestick closes above the white line. So here is the Sharpe ratios that I found for such a strategy, where the RSI length and the simple moving average length itself varies, not the RSI entry and exit values. As you can see, the Sharpe ratio, I couldn't find any above 1, but the number of trades was sometimes not too bad because I had some numerical parameters for which I had backtest with more than 100 trades. So not too bad. And the greener, the better. So in the middle with an RSI length, so here in 4 hours, I had quite good Sharpe ratios with also a big simple moving average length of about 300. So all that greener area here. We also notice that very green column on the left for a lower RSI value. Let's look at the return multipliers. Again, we are in 4 hours here. Usually I display them in blue, but I forgot to do so. So the best multipliers are around almost a 2x, so in the middle of the chart. So for an RSI length, again, around 50 and an SMA length of around 300. So let's look at the backtest. This is the best that I've found so far for a short strategy on Bitcoin using the RSI technical indicator. So here's the equity curve in blue in the middle chart, going from a starting capital of $1,000 and we end with $1,000 and about $800. So about an 80% return. And you can see that the performance, almost a ×2, is really concentrated around this bear market of 2021, 2022. So that's where we had the most of our performance. You can see on the top chart, by the way, the number of trades, which is not too bad. And the red bands show when we are in a short trade. The blue line is our filter, our simple moving average filter, with a length, I believe, 230, that's what it shows. So this green cell here, and an RSI length of 55. And yes, I made a mistake, the number of trades is not very high, it's in fact below 100, it's 76. So yes, does not meet my criteria perfectly, of course, the Sharpe ratio is also below 1, but at least this is some short strategy that is not correlated with the long strategies that I've found so far on this channel. So I really believe that this is one that we can incorporate, that we can use in our portfolio of automated strategies. Like this, when our long strategies, whether they are based on the simple moving average, the AMA, the Kaufman moving average, or any other moving average or other technical indicator, our long strategies, when they do not perform well, especially during that long bear market, we have at least another strategy, and that's the very goal of trading a portfolio, a well-rounded portfolio of uncorrelated, as much as possible, strategies. So of course I will continue to test other short strategies on the premium member area. So if you like the video, please hit the like button. I hope you liked the backtest today, and if you are new to the channel and you want to see more backtests from me in the future, please subscribe to the channel. Bye.